This video is a sample from the Secret Guitar Teacher Interactive course, The 5 Main Elements of Music. The 5 main elements of music. Element number 2, scales. Section 2.8, minor scales. Part 2, natural minor scale sandwiches. In lessons 2.5.3 and 2.5.4, we took the major scale formula and used it to work out the 7-octave fingering patterns needed to populate the cage system so that we could then play the scale in any key and in any position on the fretboard. In this lesson, we're going to do exactly the same thing with the natural minor scale. For the more experienced students, here is the whole drill. There then follows a step-by-step breakdown to help those who are new to this powerful approach to learning scales. By using the major scale sandwiches as a point of departure, we can create the natural minor scale sandwiches simply by altering the 3 notes that are affected by the formula that we looked at in the last lesson. So here is our forward diagonal major scale sandwich. Let's start by finding the flat third. There's the third, 1, 2, 3, so the flat third is here. But that's a bit awkward if we start here and have to move out of position to grab that note. So let's see if there's a better alternative. Sounds the same, easier to do. Remember that on most pairs of adjacent strings, you find the same note 5 steps up on the string below. So that's the same as that note. So right away we flagged up an important difference between playing major and minor scales in forward diagonals. Major scales tend to work best starting on the 2nd finger so that we can easily access the major third, whereas minor scales tend to work best when we start on the 1st finger to enable us more easily to access that flat third. Notes 4 and 5 are the same, but of course this time, instead of fingering them with the 2nd and 4th string fingers as we did in the major scale, we finger them with the 1st and 3rd fingers. The next note, the 6th, is flatted in the natural minor scale. So instead of this note here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we need this note here. But again, this 6th on this string is too low, takes us too far out of position, so we're better off using the pinky on this note here. So that's our flat 6, and you'll notice that this gives us the same fingering pattern on the bottom 2 strings. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Finally, we need to remember to flat the 7th to agree with our natural minor scale formula. Happily, this is easy to access with our strong first finger. So when we play the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's our natural 7th, the flat 7th, there at fret 5 in this key. So because I'm starting on my first finger, that naturally falls under my first finger there, and then we go on to complete the octave using the third finger. So our complete sandwich for that first forward diagonal. And then moving across to the next string, the pattern is unchanged. But for the next diagonal, starting on the 4th string, we need to make an adjustment for the tuning anomaly by shifting the last 2 notes up a fret. Notice that this is best done by a fingering change, using the 2nd finger for the flat 7th and the pinky for the octave note. On the top diagonal, we need a position shift to accommodate the tuning anomaly. So we're back to the first fingering pattern of 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. But we shift the whole pattern up as we cross the gap between strings 3 and 2. Remember that to make sandwiches requires 2 slices of bread and a filling. So the drill goes like this. The first slice of bread is the octave, then the filling is the scale played up and down, then you finish the sandwich with another slice of bread by playing the octave again. You may like to spend a bit of time consolidating those forward diagonal sandwiches before moving on to the next part of the lesson. Here's the full drill so far, played slowly. Now, to work out the backward diagonals, again it helps to start from the major scale. Now let's apply the formula for the natural minor scale. Flat the 3rd, 1, 2, 3 instead of, so that's easy enough. The 4th and the 5th are unchanged. Now when we do the major scale, we normally bring this little finger down for the 6th so we can reach the 7th note more easily. But because we're going to play the flat sixth, that won't be necessary, and indeed the flat seventh. So we've got 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6 there with the second finger, flat 7th with that little finger there, and that leaves us with the octave note under our first finger. The next backward diagonal uses the same pattern until the octave note, which is kicked 1 fret higher by the tuning anomaly. And we simply accommodate this by using our second finger instead of our first. For the sandwich off the 4th string, we go back to the first backward pattern and simply move the whole hand up a fret to accommodate the tuning anomaly as we cross from string 3 to string 2. So here are the 3 backward sandwiches drilled slowly. Finally, here's a demo of the whole drill played slowly, starting with the forward diagonals, and the backward ones. In the next lesson, we'll look at how we can use just these 7 patterns to populate the whole fretboard with the natural minor scale and play it in any key, any position. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you'd really like to maximize your potential as a guitar player, click on the link in the description below to the Secret Guitar Teacher site. Here you can sign up for a 30-day trial free of charge and without obligation. We won't even ask you for your credit card number.